Well, hello everybody and good morning. It's almost like I didn't just see you 30 seconds ago. And if I didn't just see you 30 seconds ago, that's because you're not here in the morning live stream and you're watching this later on. This is actually the daily topics of a show that goes on every single morning, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. So stop on by for Christ and Crypto in the morning. My name is Christian Israel, and I sit here and I just give my opinion and talk and show you research and things that I find. And today's daily topic is no different. We're going to go over the O'Leary versus Jay Clayton and Bill Hinman lawsuit specifically, and kind of give John Deaton's reaction to that. I'm not going to break down the lawsuit overall. There's a long thread, but I'm going to also go over John Deaton's reaction to that because he is really, I would call the XRP lawyer. And this person's kind of a personal injury lawyer, kind of a, is he a better call Saul or is he a good real attorney? And there is a difference. So first off, before we go, I am digging into Constellation right now, which is DAG. People love to tell me about this. I know I got clients that talk about this and they really want me to dig into this. So this is something I think next week, guys, we're going to start deep diving on the daily news into separate cryptos. Again, DAG, I think XTC, people want to know more about XTC, more about HBAR staking that just showed up, quant stuff. So we're going to dig into some of those other things because yes, we did just make a massive move and move everything into, not everything, but most things into XRP in the short term. So far, so good, playing off until this goes, and then looking at jumping into these things after corrections. And this is one of the projects that I'm really looking at for the Web3. So that's an idea to keep up. If you guys got some information to shoot me that you may or may not find, drop that in the New Creations Telegram group, New Creation Cronies Telegram group. It's where a lot of people share information. I don't really drop charts there, but I do drop research, and that's the talk for there. Okay, so bring that along, drop it off, look for this to start talking next week, looking for gathered information and possibly interviews of people who know a lot about this. So if you are listening and you're one of the guys who come in every single day and you want to tell me more about this and come on and talk, let's discuss it, because why not? Let's just two people discussing crypto. Speaking of discussing crypto, we've been talking about this for a week now. Circle, BlackRock, and USDC. Well, Circle will apply for a U.S. crypto bank charter in the near future. Now, I'm going to be honest. This is something New Creation Capital is looking forward to do in the next 3 to 4 years. Okay, we're not there yet. Circle's been around for 5-6 years, if not a little bit longer than that, as far as the massive scale they're on now. So we have some catching up to do. We don't do round A or round B or funding series and all these things yet. We will after this correction, massive correction to get us in that direction. But before then, we've been talking about Circle and USDC. They're going to do it. What it says, this startup disclosed its plan 8 months ago, but has yet to submit an application. They're waiting. And this is what I keep trying to tell people. Like, you know, I've had multiple conversations with people in general about the crypto space and not understanding what's really going on versus what Twitter tells you, right? Twitter tells you buy, sell, buy, sell, all those different things versus what the IRS, the SEC, the government entities, the Treasury, the CFTC, the OCC, right? What the actual entities that are here in crypto are saying. And this is why you're seeing a lot of things slow down. You can't rush it. The individual says, screw it, I don't care about the government. But as a business, you have to care because they can come down on you hard. And this is why here they have yet to submit their, and I'm not going to go quickly into it. I just want to let you know they're still waiting. And I know this is going to be a whole article. See, the Office of the Comptroller, which I just talked about, the OCC, they won't talk about it. You see the Axie mentioned here, that they had a hack. But if approved, and this is what I want to read to you here. If approved, Circle would be the 4th federally chartered crypto bank in the U.S. Those that have secured at least a preliminary, thank you, approval for a charter are, you guys remember, Anchorage Digital, Pro2Go Trust Bank, and Paxos Trust Company. Remember those. Getting a bank charter could be key for Circle future. The Federal Reserve and other U.S. watchdogs have said stable coins need more regulation and should be issued by banks. See that? The banks want to take over. So you got to be very careful. And I say this over and over again. Just jumping in and assuming it's going to happen overnight. You need to go towards things that are going to have regulation, going to have clarity, going to have a defined set of rules that they can follow versus the rest of the crypto space. And there's not too many of those. There's not too many of those, period. I don't care what people say. There are not too many of those aspects of it, okay? So I wanted to show you that. All right, let me check real quick. Checking in on something. Bitcoin's got to, I'm just going to cut real quick to check. Bitcoin working its way up to here, 77.50. Okay, back on over. So that's what I wanted to tell you guys, show you that before we jump into that. So far, going to start discussing what? Different cryptos in detail tomorrow or next week. That's kind of the week show after we do Easter weekend. Oh, by the way, we will have, I might take Monday off. I have not decided yet, depending on what happens. Okay, Circle, Fred. Okay, let's dive into this section now. Let's go ahead and jump into it. Let's go O'Leary versus Jay Clayton and Bill Hinman lawsuit breakdown. Shall we break it down? Now, there's a whole thread here. It's 20 of them, but it was written by a guy named Fred Rispoli. I think that's how you say his name. Rispoli or Rispoli, okay? And first off, before we go in here, let's see who this guy is, okay? Fred Rispoli is an associate attorney. He went to Arizona State University. Looks like he went to O'Connor College of Law. Not bad. A law degree is a law degree. Doesn't matter where you get it. But he is a personal injury attorney. That's kind of where he focuses on elderly abuse, nursing home abuse, birth injury, medical malpractice, and wrongful death. I don't see any awards he's ever had or personal allocations, but I see that he is a personal injury attorney. And you know what? Attorneys are attorneys. I'm going to keep it there. I'm just going to keep it there. So here's the thread. I'm not going to read the whole thread here, but we're going to come over here, which is going to be a slightly easier thread to read. And he says, I promise you're going to want to read this until the end. Now, this is all the reasons that that they chose to sue for his client. Highlights here. They talk about Bill Hinman and Jay Clayton. The other highlight in this, and what's crazy, is calling her Homer J. Clayton and Willie Hinman, and regarding their conspiracy to destroy the XRP Ledger network, and that they knew everything and that a handful of voices would be handled. It was and likely will be a burden for XRP alone, and the reason they're stepping in is because XRP holders need more voices, more fight, and it says here that on April 11, 2022, a class action lawsuit was filed against Clayton and Hinman for torturous interference in all XRP Ledger network users. Valid business expectancy in the XRP Ledger network. The lead Clayton, his client Shannon O'Leary, decided to take a stand. A stand against those two did again. Oh, sorry, my bad. A stand against what those two did to intentionally harm hundreds of thousands of people, not just in the United States, but around the world. I, which is him, am serving as Shannon's lawyer in my own personal capacity with no affiliation but my own. So he's doing it all on his own, right? Is this a Better Call Saul or is this a real cat? All on his own. All on his own. No outside firms. That's good to hear. Okay, it says, this is a case I believe in. It is a case that is fundamentally about justice, fairness, and the rule of law. Mr. Clayton and Mr. Hinman, through their actions described in the complaint and operating outside the SEC, took unreasonable and improper action to help their former and now current clients take a rival competitor blockchain network, target a rival competitor blockchain network, in order to destroy it. It didn't have to be like this. The XRPL network, like all blockchain networks, should have been given a level playing field. The XRP army didn't ask for this. It didn't start this fight, but it will win this fight. And here is where the most important question comes into play. What will you do? Will you stand with Shannon? And this guy is ready to fire up in social media things across the board, isn't he? He's ready. So I went ahead and clicked on the actual complaint, and I'm not going to go. The complaint is 25 pages. We're not going to go over the whole complaint. And if you're curious, it is real. Here is the dockets in the Ninth Court of Arizona, or Ninth Circuit Arizona District Court. U.S. District Court for District of Arizona filed yesterday. There's the case number. You can see it's a personal injury. The judge is Tucci. You think he knows Lil Wayne? It's Tucci. Sorry, I couldn't help it. I just literally is like John Tucci, like Lil Wayne. And Anyway, so this is real. This is a real lawsuit. It's not a joke. And it's not hard to get a hold of the complaint. So it's here. But John Deaton had some thoughts on it. Okay. And we're going to go, we got about 5 minutes, 10 minutes to kind of go over his thoughts. And we're going to go it like this. Instead of bringing up the whole thing, let's just go over it like this, shall we? So Deaton says, I have many DMs about the punitive class action filed in Arizona. Here are my honest thoughts. Okay. I was the first person to publicly raise the conflicts of interest. We know that. Don't care. We don't care. Okay. We all know that you're the first person to raise it. On one of the alternative motives I raised in the writ of Mirandis, filed only 9 days after the Ripple lawsuit, was about Clayton's personal gain. We know that. Okay. In other words, he fully understands the sentiment and frustration that people have regarding Clayton. Okay? He says he needs to make it clear that he has nothing to do with the Arizona. Okay? Even though he's been asked to. He says, I've communicated that once you file a case either against them personally or against the SEC itself, there will be motions to dismiss based on multiple grounds. Rule 12b-6, 6 motions failure to state claim, motions to dismiss based on... Okay, so he's saying that they're all going to try to dismiss it. That when going after a government employee in their personal capacity, it is best to have as much evidence as possible to demonstrate to the court that these government actors were acting outside the scope of their employment. Many of you believe this has already been proven, and I understand why. Some unbiased people, however, like Gasparino and Ellen Tourette, may admit that it looks bad, but not convinced there have been actual wrongdoing or criminal laws violated, which we don't know for sure yet. It looks horrible. A lot of smoke, a lot of quacking, a lot of walking like a duck. Is it a duck? He says here that Fred, the attorney we talked, Fred Rizzoli, filed the case against Clayton and Hinman. If Fred knows the judge presiding over the case, he's extremely confident that the judge will deny the initial motions and grant Fred the ability to engage in liberal discovery. Then it could prove to be a good move. Notice how the complaint makes reference for the need to engage in discovery. It reads, plaintiff believes substantial evidentiary support will exist for and further support the allegations set forth herein after a reasonable opportunity for discovery. And you can see that a reasonable opportunity for discovery, trying to get in there. What's crazy here is, again, Homer J. Clayton, William Hinman, Willie Hinman. Like, just the names alone, I kind of wish personally he wouldn't have done that. It makes it feel like a joke, not be taken seriously, not like there's been millions and 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 millions of dollars lost because of this action. I am one of those people who have lost millions of dollars in possible earnings, right, on those down moves of where XRP should be. And so is a lot of you guys, right? A lot of you guys are XRP holders, hardcore bags. Not just that, but other things with X, XLM, XTC, all these other X's, which means, currency, is being affected by this because there's no clarity in this market. And so he says here, the problem is if the judge doesn't allow Fred to subpoena third parties or get emails, the case could get thrown out quickly. Look how hard it is for Ripple to get discovery, and Ripple was actually sued. Fred's plaintiff wasn't actually sued. The problem for XRP holders is that if this case isn't taken seriously, thrown out, what if a judge writes something like claims against Clayton and Hinman are totally without merit? Imagine that. I bet CNBC will finally report on it and Clayton and Hinman will be happy. I bet you they do too. I bet you they're going to try to make this go away because CNBC, who brings those two on, you already know how I feel about politics and what side of the aisle they're on, right? They bring them on consistently. Hey. Now, why wouldn't this case be taken seriously is the question. Because the way it's written. That's what I said. And so we hope that he knows the judge, according to John Deaton. He says, I certainly wouldn't write that Homer and Willie before Judge Torres, the federal judge. The complaint alleges torturous interference with businesses' expectancy, but never explains what business expectancy is. Is it simple price appreciation? Right, like what are you actually suing for? The complaint alleges Clayton and Hinman filed a lawsuit against Shannon O'Leary and other XLP network XRPL network users. But technically they didn't, and I was denied a motion to intervene, and this will be challenged immediately because they did not sue us. They sued Ripple Labs, Chris Larson, and Brad Garlinghouse. The complaint also alleges that Homer and Willie concocted the speech outside of the scope of their employment with the SEC. But we know there are 63 emails and 68 drafts and edits and comments from other SEC employees. There are other issues that concern me, but the bottom line is I fear that there are possible other reasons for rushing the lawsuit using the language it did. What those reasons are, I do not know. I agree. It feels very rushed. Something doesn't. That's why I asked, is it Better Call Saul? Or is this guy legit? Now, Better Call Saul on TV, he gets people out of where he got to get to. He wins. I'll give you that. It says here, Fred's thread said no investigation is coming. Although one may be coming very soon, he hasn't been privy to the progress made in convincing some that certain inquiries need to be made. My fear is that I run into someone saying to me down the road, didn't a federal judge look at this and throw it out? With all that said, of course, I hope my concerns don't come true. I hope Fred is confident, he will be taken seriously, and the judge will allow discovery. I hope he has the research and case law ready to defend the qualified and sovereign immunity challenges. Anyway, those are my thoughts. To be candid. An amicus counsel, and I need to make sure that the lawsuit isn't conflated with what we are attempting. I agree. Now, he sounds a little butthurt. I'm not going to lie. Sounds like a lot of his work is butthurt for Better Call Saul to come around and do this. And we get it. But you, my friend, you're intervening overall with the Chris Larson, Brad Garlinghouse, and Ripple case. As he said, he's not suing them. He is intervening, trying to intervene anyway, and be a part of that to help. The other guy is suing for his specific client, and if his client wins. If Shannon O'Leary wins, I'm going to tell you this right now. We're all suing. I'm going to tell you right now. If she wins this lawsuit, every single XRP holder, I will contact my lawyers and we'll get this running. We will get it running because I think it's a long shot for them to win, for them to even get it. I think it's going to get thrown out based on the language of the lawsuit. I think it's just going to get thrown out. Until this is done with Ripple and the SEC, Chris Larson and Brad Garlinghouse, once that's done, then that's a good idea to take punitive action. But I think right now it's a little early. It's premature. That's what I think. What do you think? Is John Deaton on something here? Is he upset? Is he butthurt? Does he have a right to be? What are your thoughts? Because this guy, he says he's doing it all on its own. So is this a new guy that we should look up to? That we say, track on, man, good luck. Or is this guy in it for himself? Only time will tell. We hope that it helps us all. It can't hurt. But I wish you the best of luck, Fred. I wish you the best of luck, Miss Shannon O'Leary, because it could help all of us out. So you guys let me know what you think. I've given this guy a follow to kind of give an idea. You're going to see this everywhere. And we'll watch and see how this plays out. Before I change this section, I want you to know that tomorrow, guys, we are going to talk about private prisons and the effect they have here in the United States. That will be tomorrow's topic here. In the meantime, guys, that is enough for this topic. Make sure you guys, like, follow, subscribe. Let me know what you think below. Like I said, this is up a little bit later, so if you're watching this later, let's conversate. Or what I've always told I'm supposed to say, let's converse. All right, guys, that's enough for this channel. Like, subscribe, do the social media thing, and let's move on to the next topic as I get out of here and hit that button.